Okay. Late model stock at USA International. Thank you to those that asked me to do this video. Thanks for trusting me to hopefully help you out. This is going to be the qualifying lap. I just went for it on the first lap here. Could let the tires warm up for a second lap probably, but I just went for it. So we'll watch this and then we'll break it down. Figured I would do a short track video on a track that isn't paid, so maybe it'll benefit more people. Alright, so that gives us a 21,687. So let's take a look back at that. And I set this up coming out of 3 and 4 on the outlap there. So you'll see I've got a high entry. I come in, turning down, we're already full throttle, way before we can even see down the straightaway. This car has a ton of grip. So now I'm doing a little bit of what some people call like a grip flick, where the wheel, I just kind of jab it one time to the left, and it gets me pointed down towards the apron. And I'm going to do that while I'm still on the gas, and then I'm going to transfer from the throttle to the brake at the green light there. So now we're just trail braking down. We did our, I think, yeah, it's called a grip flick. This car has a ton of grip. As soon as we get down to the bottom yellow line, we're going to get back on the throttle. We're trying to get up to 80%, 90% before we're even really in the apex of the turn. We're about at the apex now, and you can see we're just at 80% throttle there. And then we're going to floor it in just a moment before we can really see, yeah, before we can even really see the end. So, yeah, before we can see down the straightaway, it's right before we can see the second green light up here. And then we're just going to drive straight up to the wall. The entire time I'm really focusing on driving the car off the right rear. It's going to be really easy to turn fast laps here if you are if you're just putting a ton of stress on the right front, but you really want to try and drive it off the right rear. That's going to save a ton of tire. You'll be fast. You'll be faster. So same thing. We're going to do that grip flick. You'll see the wheel kind of juke that way at the light, and you'll see the transfer from the brake to the throttle, or from the throttle to the brake rather. So let's go back just a little bit. Okay, so we're doing that. We've got it pointed towards, we're kind of taking a little bit of a wider entry on this, but we really want to get down to where you can even see where the paint is a different color because the rubber's right here. I think in real life the actual line is kind of on. They have the left tires on the apron. So we want to get down there as early or as kind of as soon as we can. Once we're down there, we're getting off of the trail brake, back onto the throttle, and we're trying to get up to 80% again as soon as possible. And you can floor it if you want to, and it might push the car up. It might be tight, but that's just going to wear out the tires. There's no reason to do that. You want to do that little bit of a grip flick and um, just drive the car off the right rear. So now we're just driving off. We were flooring it, trying to straighten the wheel up. I got loose here, so I had to drive into it a little bit. And then that is going to give us that 21,687. During the race, I think we're going to end up seeing some pretty exciting racing, but it's going to be bottom line dominant. What a cool looking car. I love the late model stock. It's going to be a bottom line dominant race. I've never run something here. I haven't run this car track combo. If I ever have in a long time, but I've run, street stocks and super lates and ARCA and, legends. It's always going to be bottom dominant. This car has a ton of grip, so you could probably hang out on the top maybe for a little while, but it's not going to be a good idea long term. So anyway, this should be pretty exciting racing. Uh, the more you drive the car off the right rear without snapping it loose, you're going to save tire. The tire model for this car doesn't really wear out super quickly. You don't have to save it as much as something like ARCA, but the principle still applies there for sure. So I hope that helps. Again, thank you all for asking me to do this, and thank you all for watching. And